There are a bunch of questions now coming on Prana Pratistha, the installation of life. And I know there is this huge awareness in the Hindu world about how the consecration is done and the temple vastu, and there is greater awareness about agamas also, because these are the agamas that give us the first hand information about prana pratishtha, or bringing the statues to life. There are two things noteworthy in the process. Is number one, about the temple and the relationship of the temple with the statue. It is not that the statue is built in relation to temple, but that the temple is built in relation to the statue. Whatever the mana, the measurement you want, already is determined based on the size of the statue. There are different manas, different level measurements. You install the statue upon the completion of the temple. And if the temple has multiple parts, multiple wings, then that particular wing has to be completed for the installation of the particular deity. And when you install a deity, the questions come: how do you do the installation, and who is authorized for such installation? So the number one, how do you do the installation? In the prana, bringing back to life, it's like an animation of something like inanimate object. You have to have a meticulous ritual. And then there is jala adhivasa, like situating in water. And there are multiple adhivasa, situating, placing on different substances. And in all these occasions, there is going to be the statue will be covered, the statue will not be released, and there is the opening of the eyes. That is what is the climatic moment of the completion of the ritual prana pratishtha. So statue is number one, covered before the installation of life, and then particularly even during the installation, situating the statue, as long as the final mantras are not uttered, not articulated, you are not opening the eyes of the deities. Some people say, what if you see the deities directly and it may harm you, and that is why you are closing the eyes? That is not the case. It's the life goes through the eyes, and that is kept locked in for the time being. And yes, of course, the gaze of the deities, it's generally believed that you should generally do darshan from the side, particularly for the ferocious deities like Kali, Durga. You do not approach direct, you have to approach from the side. That is a belief like that also. And then the question comes, should not the statues be consecrated, brought to life installation by the great monks like sannyasis, like Shankaracharyas, or people who are in the very high position in the religious context? Yes, I mean, I agree theoretically that somebody who is actually doing the ritual should be very spiritual, very sattvika, and should have only single agenda of worshipping the divine, should not have some twisted agenda. That is true. But the other argument is wrong, because you do not, just like generally you do not invite the monks for the wedding. That's not the best time to invite a monk. The same way, you do not invite a monk for life consecration. There is all the rituals from Garbhadana, life installation, to all the vivaha, wedding of the deity. All these rituals are parts and parcel of life installation. A sannyasin does not have the authority to install life of any deity. A sannyasin is supposed to renounce karma. That is what constitutes a sannyasi. A sannyasi is called niragni. abandoned. He has given up on Agni Karya, so all the fire rituals. That also implies puja and so forth. So a sannyasi does not perform Purascharana, for example, because these things invite siddhis. A sannyasi is above these things. A sannyasi is not interested in swarga. Sannyasi is interested only in moksha, liberation. And so if you read shastras, you would know that taking diksha from sannyasi is forbidden. Not if you want to become a sannyasi, of course. That is when you have to receive diksha from sannyasi. The same way, life installation is not a task for the sannyasins, for the renunciates. This is done by grihastha, the householders, and can be done also by brahmacharin or vanaprastha in required situation. The final question comes, is the process ever has only what is written in the book, or there is always more to the process than what is captured in like ritual manuals like Pratistha Prakasha, or those books that are written only for the installation of life? That there are these esoteric practices, inside practices, and then exoteric, outside practices, and then outside you have whatever is the book, mandate, common code. But for example, if you are worshipping Ayyappa in the south or worshipping Krishna in the north, your ritual installation and the public and the private installations are going to be different. For an Ayyappa worshipper, it's Ayyappa, Lord Vishnu, Lord Shiva, as a birth of a child, and all these emotions evoke to common devotees. But for the serious sadhakas, for inside priest, there are these guru mantras integral to the installation of Ayyappa. So this is the highest form of tantra being practiced there, but is not shared what those mantras are, and I'm not going to share them either. But in the north, you worship Krishna, and you will be surprised that the internal ritual may be different. I'm not saying has to be mandatorily different, but it may be different. That reminds me of one installation ritual that I performed on behalf of the Queen of Nepal. Those days Guruji was alive, and King and Queen were alive, and Queen's aunt had donated land in a place called Bhimsen Gola in Kathmandu, and it was a Krishna temple, and Guruji ordered that I do the life installation ritual. I complained and I obeyed, basically. I was little shy, and also I thought that it's a big responsibility and I'm not authorized for such a responsibility, but Guruji trusted on me, and then I went through every step of the ritual. Guruji taught me everything what I needed to do. The final thing, when the prana, the life installation itself came about, and then I say, Guruji, but I love Lord Krishna a lot, but Lord Krishna is not my Ishta Devata. Would not that be better if somebody whose Ishta Devata is Krishna does the installation? And he said, no, you are installing life with the mantra of Kali. And I actually did the Kali mantra for the installation of life. And since then, the esoteric ritual for only the priest to know goes with the Kali mantra. For the public, of course, he's Krishna, and then they will have all the Krishna bhajan, and everything goes on to the public. So in tantric shrines, there can be an internal ritual procedure not known to the public. And any shrine can be turned into tantric shrine. It depends on how it was installed, whether the people who install life were familiar with the agamas or not. So there are many, many issues related to life installation. And we need to be really careful and aware of the procedure. Thank you.